morning, guys, and welcome to your market report for this Monday, October 15th, 2018. Big welcome to the show. Stuff is starting to happen so fast that, I'm having trouble keeping up with all of the stories. They break so quick, but this is a big one. This is a real big one, U.S.-Saudi relations. Now, the fundamental underpinnings of the petrodollar, going back to the origins of the petrodollar, back before 1971, before Nixon took us off the gold standard, the United States dollar was backed by gold. Then they switched over and they signed deals. Kissinger went over and signed deals with the Arabian nations, Saudi Arabia, to back the dollar with oil. So the dollar has actually been, this is an oil-based economy that we have, and the dollar has actually been the underpinnings of this oil-based economy because the dollar is the only thing that they could buy and sell oil with. And Saudi and the United States have always had wonderful relations together. Well, let's open up the chart and see what's going on right now. Saudi Arabia threatens retaliation over missing journalists. They're threatening the United States with retaliation. They're doing inspections right now. Turkey, Saudi officials to conduct inspections at the consulate where the journalist disappeared. Saudi king orders probe into this Jamal journalist case. The dark side of Saudi Arabia's youthful crown prince is one of the articles here on Global News. Saudi Arabia promises to retaliate over any sanctions. Of course, the sanctions would be coming from the United States, so the retaliation would be directed back at the United States. Well, the United States and Saudi Arabia has always been the United States' greatest ally. They've been together for many, many moons. They've been very, very close friends and very close relationships all along until all of a sudden, boom, boom, this is coming out of nowhere, indicating that this is a black swan event. It's caused the markets to plunge a little bit in the world, but the markets are going to respond and bounce back, I think. And the reason why is the markets go up on bad news, the markets go up on good news. So the markets right now, they always forget very quickly. I figure even the worst story in the world, the markets will probably only respond for about 3 or 4 hours and then they forget. They got a very short memory. They always want to, they've been conditioned. There's a conditioning out there called Pavlov's dog. It's a type of conditioning that they use to condition animals and stuff. It's a response conditioning. And the markets have been conditioned this way that when the markets fall, always buy the dip and then you make lots of money, because the markets have always went in a pattern where all the way when we were under the effects of quantitative easing, the markets were going up, 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 up to the heavens, and they've been doing that for years now. Traders always know you buy the dip. And so they've been conditioned just like a dog. When they ring the bell, the dog does whatever he's supposed to do, A dog will even salivatate for food when you ring the bell, sort of thing. And this is the way market traders are now. And so they're used to buying the dips. So the market dips and they buy in. And that's what they've been used to, because we've been in a long, long, long bull market. They don't realize that this market's switched into a bear market. But this is bad news, so this response is they're all going to come in there and buy the dip, and the market's going to rebound, even though this news hasn't changed. This is big, this news. Saudi-U.S. relationships start to go cold, and it's going to have a profound effect on the petrodollar, perhaps an even more profound effect than the yuan-based oil's futures contracts had. But that was an erosion of the dollar, and there's been other erosions of the dollar. Dollar's been eroded a long time, the petrodollar. And now this could be a huge nail in the coffin right here if this plays through. Okay, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on this news. What was the effect on cryptocurrency from this news? You know, Bitcoin has seen a pop. At the same time, we saw a pop in the price of gold and silver. Let's take a look back on the 1-minute chart. You can see this pop in the price. The timing was exactly the same time the pop occurred in gold and silver. It looks to me like a fear trade. But like I say, what happens is fear disappears very quickly. Once the news is spread, the first reaction, the gut reaction is fear, but then they go back to be complacency. The market is in a tendency to want to stay in complacency and not follow fear. But believe me, there's things coming in the very near future where they're not going to be able to go back to complacency, and the fear is going to go into a gut-wrenching fear that they can't handle, and it's going to stay there, and they're going to react to that, and we're going to see some very strange things happen. And one of the strange things that could happen here is if too many people rush into cryptocurrency, rush into this space, and put their money into cryptocurrency, it could actually transform cryptocurrency from a speculative investment and switch it over into a safe haven asset if enough money pours into this space. It's just as simple as that. Let's take a look at what happened with silver. It shot up at exactly the same time the cryptocurrency shot up over this situation. It was flatlining and boom, it shot up. Let's take a look at gold. Same sort of deal, you know. Gold's up $11.10, and silver is up 14 cents as we speak right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average today, let me grab and open this chart, 54.23 down today on the day. But it very well could rebound, you know, because, like I say, they forget awful quick. They got a very short memory for bad news, especially when they're being conditioned to buy on the dip. Bonds and rates today. What we got today in the bonds, U.S. Treasury bonds, is 10 years at 3.146, and that we're getting a rise in the long bonds that's not matching the rise in the short bonds. So the short bonds are rising a little bit quicker today. The yields on the short bonds are rising a little bit quicker than the long bonds. At double the speed of the long bonds. The short bonds are rising today. Yields on the short bonds are rising today. And that's a little bit of a flattening yield curve today is pointing toward. Let's take a look at the price of oil today. Price of oil is actually down a little bit. Oil should be shooting upwards. If Saudi-U.S. relations go kaput, you know, oil should be shooting upwards in price, not down. But we got a 28 cent move down in the price. That's 0.39% down. Oh, I forgot to do cryptocurrency market capitalizations. We're up roughly $12 billion today. All the coins are shooting up in price. Bitcoin dominance 54.3%. And we see green all the way across the board. That means all of them are going up. Except for Tether, which is, I believe, tied to the US dollar. It's down 2.53%. That one stands out a little bit. Now, let's take a look at the U.S. dollar index today. U.S. dollar index is 95.06. It's fell back a little bit. So the dollars fell back a little bit. This is natural. After all, like I say, what supports and underpins the dollar is Saudi oil. And if the U.S.-Saudi relationship breaks apart, well, the dollar's going to take a beating. You know, they could take a beating. And so we got to start thinking the world doesn't always do what's logical, especially in crisis situations. There is the entire possibility that a tremendous amount of money could start to move into cryptocurrency in a panic. And if it's something that if the panic that's being caused is because U.S.-Saudi relationships have broken apart, that's the underpinning of the petrodollar. The dollar could be the one that could actually get hurt, and cryptocurrencies could end up being a beneficiary of this. We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, it's a strange world. Strange things happen, and especially when you get black swan events. And I would definitely consider what's just happened with Saudi Arabia and the United States as being a black swan. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.